What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to Thursday night's late night agenda, and I have a jam-packed show for you this evening. We are going to be talking about the title of the video. We're going to be discussing the Jude Bellingham situation. We're going to mention a couple of other Liverpool targets as well, and go through all the latest news and gossip surrounding our fantastic football club. You know the drill by now. I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. Do drop a like on the video, and of course, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do. So look, no hanging around tonight. No tickling your nutsack a little bit. We're getting straight into the good stuff with Jude Bellingham. Now, today it has been reported by a Spanish outlet that Jude Bellingham has distanced himself from Real Madrid. What was that? A Madrid-based or a Spanish-based outlet actually talking some sense for a change around this story and not doing the bidding of Real Madrid and not trying to just get people to click on it because it's a story that I've told you for the longest time was not going to end with him joining Real Madrid. But today, Nacional have said that Jude Bellingham has stopped talking to Real Madrid amid interest from Liverpool and Manchester City. It goes on to say that his family are pressuring him to try his luck in the Premier League. I don't know where they got the try his luck phrase, but again, I've told you all along, Jude Bellingham will be in one place and one place only, and that is Liverpool Football Club. Now, I know that this hasn't ruled out Manchester City. Plenty of other reasons I've given you before, I hope will convince you that Manchester City won't be in the mix for Jude Bellingham's signature. Yes, they will try to get him, and yes, I'm sure they will throw a lot of money at it, but like I've been telling you for the longest time, Jude Bellingham, his representatives, his family feel like Liverpool Football Club is the logical next step in his development and in his career. And again, we are very, very much in need. And we've put in a lot of groundwork to get Jude Bellingham. It's been 2 years of both publicly and privately flirting with the player, his family, his representatives to make sure that when the time comes that he leaves Borussia Dortmund, he will do so obviously in a respectful manner to Borussia Dortmund, but that he ends up at Liverpool Football Club. So that's the first part of today's video, and that's just a little update for you on the Bellingham situation. But all these pieces are starting to fall into place now, and then it's down to us. It's down to Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool, FSG getting this deal over the line. At this point, look, I think it's fair to say it's odds against us being in the Champions League next season, but I've also told you that I don't think that that's going to be a problem. Yes, it will have a knock-on effect financially, but it wouldn't be a problem with regards to the player understanding that it's just a one-season blip from Liverpool and that they plan to strengthen. So let's move on to the next transfer story of the day, and they're coming thick and fast as we come towards the end of the season. Let's talk about Curtis Jones actually for a second if I can. So Curtis Jones gave a really honest interview recently that spoke about his absence from some of the matchday squads. So I'm going to read it out to you really quickly to just give you a flavour of why Curtis Jones hasn't been available for some of the recent fixtures. He said, "I wasn't injured on Saturday, but I have been on a schedule where a specialist is now on board and I'm only allowed to train for 4 days on the pitch and then I have to have a day off. This is in relation to an ankle injury. So if the day comes at the same time as a game, he can't do much. He can't play. The injury is always going to be there. It's always going to be an ongoing thing, and staff have handled it really well. So I guess, look, I could go through this in more detail, but there's no point. My concern here is, look, I'm glad that the club have figured out what it is. I'm glad that Curtis Jones is receiving treatment for it. But if we can't be guaranteed that this kid is going to be able to play games, because if, as he said, this schedule that they've put out, if it falls on a day where he's supposed to play and he's then supposed to have a day off, he can't play. That's not really much use to us, is it? So, again, I think Curtis Jones had a very good game, or certainly the best of our midfield against Chelsea. But this isn't great news for me. And again, it kind of puts his long-term future at the club in a little bit more doubt if this is going to be something that is going to carry on throughout his career. And also, I would suggest it's going to make it maybe harder for Liverpool to look to sell Curtis Jones in the future if they do decide to cut ties. So, not great on that one. There's also a fixture update. Liverpool's game against Leicester City has been rescheduled. It will now kick off on Monday, May the 15th, 8 p.m, and it will be shown on Sky Sports. So, another interesting thing that I've left towards the second half of the video for you, because I know there's some of you that seen the Bellingham stuff and run away. You shouldn't have, because I always have a few little tidbits kept aside for the end of the video just to see who's paying attention. So, today, this one took me by surprise, and it comes from 90min.com, so again, up to you if you choose to think it's nonsense or not. But it is saying that Liverpool have registered an interest in James Maddison of Leicester City. Obviously, Leicester are in the relegation zone right now, and James Maddison is far too good to be going back down to the Championship to play football next season. So the article goes on to say that Leicester are open to selling James Maddison, and that the figure that they have mentioned is about £50 million. Now, it's very easy for me to make a comparison here and ask you guys a straightforward question. If I had £50 million in one hand and I had another £50 million in the other hand, one of them was to go towards James Maddison and one of them was to go towards Mason Mount, which one would you like? For me, Maddison. I have to say, yes, I know there's been some questions about his attitude at times, but I see far more creativity. I see far more guile. And I like James Maddison and the way he plays football. It's also important to remember that Liverpool were admirers of Maddison before he made the move from Norwich to Leicester City. And again, if my memory's right, I think it was an ankle injury at the end of that season that Leicester bought him from Norwich that maybe ruled us out of looking to make a move. So again, straightforward question. We've 50 million quid in both hands. Would you prefer Mason Mount? Would you prefer James Maddison? Or maybe you don't think either are good enough. The last, actually, there's two more. I thought there was less, but there's two more to go. This one comes from O Globo, who I believe are either a Portuguese or a Brazilian outlet, and they've said that Liverpool have been linked with a move for 18-year-old Brazilian striker Vitor Roque, who's currently enjoying a successful spell. They've also linked Arsenal, Aston Villa, Chelsea, Manchester United, Spurs, West Ham with interest in the player. He's got a bio clause, I think, of 42 million euro, according to this article. But look, I consider this a nothing story, really. How many times have we seen Liverpool linked with these young starlets coming out of Portugal, coming out of Brazil, only for it to end up that they end up at Real Madrid or somewhere else in Europe for a few seasons, and then they get a big money move to the Premier League? I just don't think there's much to it. But again, maybe just another name for us to keep an eye on for development in the future. So if you don't remember, it is Vitor, V-I-T-O-R, Roque, R-O-Q-U-E. And the last story I have for you guys is one that I've seen mixed information on. So one part, and this comes from Cesar Luis Merlo, who says the concrete interest from Liverpool in Brighton's Alexis McAllister. I've heard differently, to be honest. I've heard, yes, we're interested in Alexis McAllister, but somebody has told me recently that they don't believe that Alexis McAllister is interested in coming to Liverpool. I don't know if that's true or untrue. Would I take him? Yes. I think he's a very fine midfield player. I would prefer Caicedo if we were to go to Brighton for a player, but he will be somebody I think that will probably make the move in the summer window, and he'll have no shortage of suitors looking for a signature. So again, mixed signals on this. One person saying that there's concrete interest from Liverpool in the player, but then as I've been told and I've read in a few other places as well, that there's no interest from the player to come to Liverpool. I hope that that's untrue because, well, quite frankly, I don't like the idea of anybody not wanting to come to Liverpool Football Club, but each to their own. So that is it for today, my friends. Just a recap. Bellingham has apparently snubbed or is no longer interested in listening to Real Madrid. We spoke about the fixture rescheduling. Alexis McAllister, that young kid from Brazil. And of course, we spoke about James Maddison as well, who Liverpool have been linked with a 50 million quid offer for. So over to you now, my friends. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Keep an eye out for the Arsenal preview video, which is coming out tomorrow. I did put one out earlier on today where I sat down and chat with my good friend Lee Gunner. So let me know your thoughts on that one. But tomorrow we'll be putting out the predicted 11, score predictions and all that kind of stuff as well. So I look forward to catching up with you guys really soon. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Much love from my family to yours, and thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.